Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing.
Diana Taurasi once said to Caitlin Clark that reality is coming. But as Clark dominated the WNBA in her debut season, it was Taurasi who faced a new reality. How did this basketball legend go from doubter to believer? The stage was set for a clash of generations. Taurasi, the WNBA icon, threw down the gauntlet with her bold statement. Fans were quick to pick sides. Some backed the veteran's experience, while most rallied behind the freshman sensation. Some tried to justify Taurasi's words as realistic wisdom, while most saw it as outright arrogance. The basketball world buzzed with anticipation and lines were drawn.
And that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
As the season tipped off, all eyes were on Clark. The pressure was intense. Every move she made on the court was scrutinized. Would she crumble under the weight of expectations? Or would she prove the doubters wrong? Little did anyone know, this rookie was about to shake up the league in ways no one saw coming, and history would be rewritten every time she stepped on the court. Who would really face a new reality? The newcomer or the vet? Reality did come, but for who? Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's dive in.
Caitlin Clark is way better, way sooner than anybody thought.
As the season unfolded, a rookie's reality check turned into a veteran's wake-up call. What if Taurasi's words became the spark that ignited one of the most explosive debut seasons in WNBA history? Clark wasn't just playing, she was rewriting the record books with every game. From the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the WNBA court, she silenced doubters and electrified fans. Her impact was immediate and undeniable. Clark's debut season wasn't just good, it was historically great, setting a new standard for first-year players in the league.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar. Not a female superstar, she is a superstar.
We were coming to see Caitlin Clark play.
She moves the needle. The WNBA has been looking for someone who moves the needle.
Clark's three-point shooting took center stage. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to sink 100 three-pointers in a single season. And on the last game of the regular season against the Washington Mystics, Clark sank her 122nd three-pointer, passing Diana Taurasi for the second most three-pointers made in a single season in WNBA history. This wasn't just a freshman finding her footing. This was a sharpshooter redefining what's possible from beyond the arc. But Clark's game wasn't one-dimensional. She put up numbers that had fans and analysts alike shaking their heads in disbelief. Averaging 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game, Clark led all rookies in scoring and led the entire league in three-pointers and assists. She wasn't just keeping up with the veterans, she was setting the pace for the entire league.
Well, I knew the atmosphere was going to be electric when they announced Caitlin's name in the dark and the fans went crazy.
Head-to-head matchups against Taurasi's Phoenix Mercury became must-watch TV. Clark didn't just compete, she dominated. In one standout performance, she dropped 29 points, dished out 10 assists, and grabbed 5 rebounds, leading her team to victory and completing a 3-game sweep over Taurasi's Phoenix Mercury in their regular season matchups. The impact of Clark's play extended far beyond the stat sheet. The WNBA saw a surge in viewership and attendance, with the WNBA surpassing the NHL in average live viewers for the first time. This Caitlin Clark effect wasn't just hype, it was transforming the landscape of basketball. New fans flocked to arenas and tuned into broadcasts, drawn by Clark's electrifying play and undeniable charisma on the court. She wasn't just playing the game, she was elevating it, bringing a fresh energy that was impossible to ignore.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league.
Under the weight of immense expectations and the spotlight of being a highly touted first-year pro, Clark thrived. She racked up Rookie of the Month honors multiple times, each award a testament to her consistency and dominance. Perhaps most impressively, Clark's individual success translated to team success. She led the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance since 2016, turning a struggling franchise into a postseason contender in her very first year. This wasn't just a star player putting up empty stats. This was a game changer, elevating everyone around her. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action.
Big things are in store for the W, and it's because of Caitlin Clark.
While Clark dazzled, a basketball icon grappled with her own struggles. Taurasi's season took unexpected turns, from limited playing time to a controversial Olympic team selection. Was the torch being passed right before our eyes? As Caitlin Clark lit up scoreboards and shattered records, Diana Taurasi found herself in uncharted waters. The WNBA legend, known for her sharp shooting and fierce competitiveness, faced a season unlike any other in her illustrious career. Taurasi's minutes and production on the court dwindled, a stark contrast to her usual dominant presence. This sparked debates among fans and analysts alike. Is retirement looming? Is reality finally coming for her?
This is it, most of all. Thank you for doing it all in one uniform.
The controversy reached a boiling point with the announcement of the U.S. Olympic team roster. Taurasi secured a spot, while Clark, despite her explosive debut performance, was left off. This decision set social media ablaze. Fans questioned the selection process, arguing that Clark's stellar season warranted Olympic recognition. The backlash added fuel to the already simmering tensions between Taurasi and Clark supporters. Sue Bird, Taurasi's longtime friend and former teammate, publicly praised Clark's skills.
So yeah, as I mentioned, Kelsey Mitchell's balling, Caitlin continuing to impress, and she's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years. Yeah. It's just going to be a constant record break.
Sophie Cunningham, Taurasi's Phoenix Mercury teammate, also voiced her admiration for Clark's game. These endorsements from respected players signaled a shift in the league's perception of the young star.
Especially Caitlin Clark, she's been killing it, and I'm a huge fan, and I never say that, but I think it's fun what she's doing.
Taurasi, known for her competitive fire, found herself in an unfamiliar position. The player who once warned Clark about the realities of pro basketball now watched as the rising star not only adapted, but thrived. In head-to-head matchups, Clark's Indiana Fever consistently outperformed Taurasi's Mercury. Each game seemed to chip away at the notion that Clark wasn't ready for the big leagues. But just as the narrative of a bitter rivalry began to take shape, a small gesture changed everything. During a game, cameras caught Taurasi putting her arm around Clark. This simple act, barely noticed in the heat of competition, hinted at a thawing in their relationship. It was a moment that spoke volumes without a single word being uttered. As the season progressed, Taurasi's tone began to shift. The initial skepticism gave way to grudging respect, and finally, outright admiration. In a post-game interview that caught many by surprise, Taurasi acknowledged Clark's impact on the league. What Caitlin has been able to do in her short career so far is nothing short of remarkable, Taurasi admitted, her words carrying the weight of a legend recognizing a rising star.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable. And the one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright, and being a veteran and being in this league for a long, long time, it's pretty cool to see that and going into the future.
This wasn't just about two players anymore. It was about the evolution of the WNBA itself. Clark's emergence and Taurasi's response symbolized a changing of the guard, a moment where the past and future of basketball converged. Fans who had chosen sides now found themselves appreciating both the Clark's explosive talent and Taurasi's hard-earned wisdom. Taurasi's journey from doubter to supporter mirrored the league's own growth. As Clark brought in new fans and media attention, even skeptics couldn't deny the positive impact on women's basketball as a whole. The WNBA was evolving, and this generational clash was at the heart of its transformation. The clash between Clark and Taurasi had set the stage for change, but what came next surprised everyone. How could a freshman's unwavering respect and a veteran's grudging admiration reshape the future of the league? As Caitlin Clark's debut season unfolded, her approach to the game spoke volumes. Despite the heated comments and doubts thrown her way, Clark never took the bait. She let her game do the talking, and boy, did it speak loudly. Every three-pointer, every assist, every win against Taurasi's Mercury was a statement. But it wasn't just Clark's on-court performance that turned heads.
Caitlin, with tomorrow being the first matchup in your career against Diana Taurasi, does that bring any sort of extra excitement for you? Yeah, for sure. Like that's somebody I grew up, idolizing and, looking up to and wanting to be like one day. So, obviously she's one of the greatest players our game has ever seen, the greatest scorer our game has ever seen. So for me, like, I'm excited. Like, that's fun. Like, it's almost like kind of like a dream come true in a way. Like, you get to live out your dream while playing against the best, one of the best there ever has been. So it's fun for me, for sure.
Off the court, Clark showed a level of maturity that belied her years. When asked about Taurasi's comments, she'd pivot, focusing instead on her team's goals or praising the league's veterans. This wasn't just good PR, it was a glimpse into Clark's character. She was here to play ball, not engage in drama. Clark's professionalism didn't go unnoticed. Fans who initially viewed the Clark-Taurasi dynamic as a bitter rivalry started seeing it differently. Here was a young star, respectful of the game's history, even as she rewrote its record books. Veterans around the league took note. You could see it in the post-game handshakes, the nods of approval, the words of encouragement. As the season progressed, something shifted in Taurasi's demeanor. The initial skepticism gave way to a begrudging respect. It wasn't just Clark's stats that were impressive, it was how she carried herself. In a league where trash talk and rivalries often grab headlines, Clark's quiet confidence stood out. It wasn't just about two players anymore, it was about the evolution of the sport. Clark's emergence and Taurasi's response symbolized a changing of the guard, a moment where the past, the present, and future of the sport converged. Here was the face of the WNBA's past, acknowledging its present and future. The impact extended beyond the court. As Clark brought new fans and media attention to the WNBA, even skeptics couldn't deny the positive effect on women's basketball as a whole. TV ratings were up, social media buzz was constant, and arenas were filling up. The league was growing, and this generational handoff was at the heart of its transformation. This evolving relationship between Clark and Taurasi can become a blueprint for the league's future. It showed that rivalries could coexist with respect, that competition could drive growth without breeding animosity. For young players watching, it was a masterclass in professionalism and sportsmanship. From doubter to believer, Diana Taurasi's journey mirrored the WNBA's evolution. As Caitlin Clark lit up scoreboards, Taurasi's skepticism melted away. The rookie's game spoke volumes, but her respect for the league's history spoke even louder. This wasn't just about two players anymore, it was about the sport finding its new identity. Clark brought fresh energy, while Taurasi represented the game's roots. Their story showed how rivalries could fuel growth without breeding animosity. As the season wrapped up, Taurasi's words carried the weight of a legend, recognizing a rising star. It was more than just praise. It was a passing of the torch. Are we witnessing the dawn of a new era in women's basketball? Most definitely. Reality has arrived, and her name is Caitlin Clark. And the best part? It's only just begun. Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.